Thank you for tuning in. This is DJ Fresh from SegaShiro.com, your Sega resource. And today we're doing a video review of the Nintendo Wii exclusive. This is Conduit 2. Once again, developed by High Voltage Software, Conduit 2 attempts to improve over every aspect of the original game. And yet somehow, despite improving it greatly on a technical level, still comes up short in presentation and storyline. In Conduit 2, gone is the spy aesthetic, replaced with this more Halo-esque vision for the game. And yet this isn't for the better. Michael Ford is no longer the serious spy he once was, and has now been replaced with a Duke Nukem one-line dropping cheeseball. His relationship with Prometheus has become an almost Kit, Michael Knight Rider type of scenario, and while it did have some humorous moments, the change from the first game is not for the better. The ASC puzzle elements and the intermission cutscenes have been stripped away out of this title, instead replaced with in-game cinematics. Also, the conspiracy objects return and yet seem less integrated into the gameplay as they did in the first one. Achievements also make a return, and in this game the level design is more varied and more exotic as you travel to such locations as Atlantis and to Mayan temples. However, that said, while the stage design is more interesting and more varied, the set pieces aren't as fun as they were in the first game. In terms of controls, Conduit can be considered a success, whether you're using the regular standard nunchuck Wiimote combo, the Wii Motion Plus, or the classic controller. There are a lot of options there. However, if you are using the classic controller, you may need to tweak it a little bit more than with some of the other controls, just to get it feeling just right. However, no matter what method you choose, Conduit controls very well. You can also modify your loadouts, and you can also earn perks in multiplayer which can be transferred over to the single-player game. It's a nice touch, and it adds a nice connection between the single-player experience and the multiplayer experience. Multiplayer returns once again for Conduit, and like in the previous title, it's one of the key elements of the game. Now, I'm not a big multiplayer guy. What I did like, however, was the split-screen multiplayer in this game. It's so much fun to get 4 guys sitting on the same screen, just blasting the heck out of each other. Reminded me of my old school gaming days. The online multiplayer is pretty robust. There's a nice little reward system where you can buy new equipment and modify your character. For a lot of gamers, this is where they'll be spending most of their time, and for some gamers, it will completely eclipse the single-player experience. While I'm not entirely sold on the new art direction of the game, I was genuinely impressed with the graphic engine coming off the Wii. The game looks very solid for a Wii title. However, that said, there were a few moments of frame rate dips and a few times where I'd come across some clipping or just general weirdness. Likewise, I can say the same things about the sound design. I didn't really notice the background music. It was there, just seemed rather generic. However, the gun sounds and everything but the voice acting was suitably solid. The voice acting itself, well, it wasn't terrible. Terrible's not the right word for it. It was cheesy. The game will take you about 6 to 8 hours to beat, depending on your skill level. And I have to say that the ending kind of snuck up on me. Now, it's really hard for me to give Conduit 2 a straight recommendation, simply because a lot of the features that I liked about the first one, the intrigue, the spy aesthetic, are been completely stripped and replaced with something that some people might like better, but I imagine most won't. On the technical side of things, this is a huge improvement, except the competition has gotten more fierce. Now this game has to go up against the likes of GoldenEye or Call of Duty. On a personal level, I actually enjoyed the first Conduit title more than I enjoyed the sequel. It seems to me that the series has taken a step sideways instead of a step forward. If you're a Wii console owner and only a Wii console owner, and you're looking for a multiplayer experience, give this game a rental, try it out. Everyone else need not apply. This is DJ Fresh signing out, saying keep on gaming.